Oh, there is such precious little history recorded. Is that the expression? There is precious little history recorded, and precious too little port drank of a Thursday evening. And civil records began in Britain in 1837. For some reason, mentions Ireland in 1864. Now, why does it only begin that early? Why doesn't it begin earlier? Have you ever noticed how a lot of buildings built in the 1890s in Britain resemble buildings built in the 1920s? In the town I live in, Southport, which has been quite famous this year, uh, there was the boys' grammar school KGV, King George V, which is for quite a number of decades since the 80s or 70s, being a sixth form college and somewhat feminist, so can't be a boys' grammar anymore. That doesn't resemble it resembles Edge Hill a little bit, amongst other buildings around the country. That sort of funny little tower thing above the entranceway, the centre. What do we say about Tesla and towers, Antiquitech? Well, could it have been built before the 1920s and nobody has told us? I think it probably could. Do you know anybody who? I've never known anybody like this, but have you known anybody who says no, buildings were built before then? Funny how people don't seem to know their own family history back to the genealogy of civil records, births and deaths. I've heard of my great grandparents. I've never heard my parents talk about their great grandparents or my grandparents talk about their parents, who of course, are the same people. I wonder if people generally have noted this themselves. And another building, Liverpool Metropolitan or Roman Catholic Cathedral, was supposed to have been probably very Tartarian in appearance, very Italianate with domes and very, very big and very ornate, but it never got built. Whereas the Anglican Cathedral is, I think, the biggest cathedral in the country, and it's a very supersized building. When there are already supersized buildings or supersized buildings that were knocked down that probably date earlier, at least the late 19th century, probably therefore are couple of hundred years at least older than that. Does that mean the Anglican Cathedral was not a 20th century building? And does it mean that the Roman Catholic Cathedral in Liverpool was destroyed and nobody knows that it was destroyed? You tell me.